What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mello. Now, there's a couple things that I wanted to talk to you all about today. One being the recent shooting that happened at the University of Virginia. Go ahead and check this video out.
Deadly mass shooting at the University of Virginia. Students and staff ordered to shelter in place with an urgent manhunt underway. The shooting on a bus that had just returned from a class trip. 3 students shot and killed, all members of the football team there. 2 other students were wounded but survived. Tonight, the alleged gunman identified as a student and former player, and the major development that came in the middle of their live news conference today. ABC's Faith Abube in Charlottesville tonight.
Tonight, shock and sadness on the campus of the University of Virginia.
How are you making sense of this?
It's a lot right now. It's kind of all very surreal.
You can still see the bullet hole in the bus window where the suspect allegedly opened fire just after 10 p.m. Sunday. It was packed with students returning from a class trip to see a play in Washington, D.C., when authorities say Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. opened fire, killing UVA football players Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry. 2 other students were wounded. Jones, a fellow student and former member of the football team, fleeing the scene, sparking an intense manhunt. Students and staff sheltering in place overnight.
Out of all the emotions I was going through, the kind of like the fear, the uncertainty, the disbelief.
UVA Police Chief Tim Longo learning the suspect was captured an hour away without incident in the middle of a news conference.
Just need a moment to thank God. Breathe a sigh of relief.
And David Jones is facing 3 counts of second-degree murder and 3 counts of using a handgun in commission of a felony. Authorities tell us more charges potentially from federal authorities are possible. In the meantime, though, classes and activities here on campus are once again canceled tomorrow. David?
All right, Faith Abube in Charlotte.
I was actually pretty surprised to learn that the suspect is a 22-year-old black man. Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. is a suspect that was taken into custody, and I just think this thing all around is just sad. We've got black on black crime, 3 young innocent men dying, and also the suspect who's only 22 years old. You know, I think there's a lot more to this situation than we may see at first glance. I did a little research on this, and I just feel like this cannot be some random attack. In an article posted by AP News, it says Jones came to the attention of the university's threat assessment team this fall after a person unaffiliated with the school reported a remark Jones apparently made about possessing a gun. No threat was reported in conjunction with the concern about the weapon, but officials looked into it, following up with Jones's roommate. The article then goes on to say Jones had also been involved in a hazing investigation of some sort. He said he did not have all the facts and circumstances of that case, though he said the probe was closed after witnesses failed to corroborate. Now, what really caught my eye was that the suspect had been in a hazing investigation before. I don't know too much about sororities, but I've always heard about hazing, and I've heard of some stories of people actually dying from that. Now, on top of that, they say the suspect could have been on the bus with the classmates that he shot. The story was a little hard to follow at first, but I believe the suspect was also on the field trip with them. Once they arrived back from the field trip on the bus, that's when he allegedly shot them. Go ahead and check this ABC clip out as they break the story down even more.
Agent Brad Garrett joins me live now for more on this. Brad, a sigh of relief there at UVA now that this suspect is in custody, but what happens next?
So obviously we have to figure out motive. What started this shooting? Did he ride on the bus with at least 2 or 3 of these football players that were shot on the bus? So what is their prior history? And then there's 2 other people that survived, one in critical condition, one apparently not critical. But the point being, what is the proximity? Are they relevant to the 3 football players being shot, or did they just happen to get shot because they were on the bus or near the bus? Those are the questions you're going to ask. But as you move backward, you have to look at his history. There was some reporting, according to the university police chief, that Mr. Jones apparently either threatened a gun, said he had a gun, but this person was concerned enough that he was talking to potentially get that information out. There was also, according to the chief, a statement about harassment, not further defined. Now, we both know that means a lot of different things, but the person was concerned enough to report it to the campus police. There was a follow-up investigation. But again, those are 2 things that troubling, potentially, enough information to dedicate manpower, law enforcement resources to checking on this person? Well, only to a certain extent. Unfortunately, Diane, people do really stupid things every day, but you can't arrest them for it.
They sure do, Brad.
This is just one of those things that I may never understand. I've tried to make it make sense in my head, but at this point, I'm just going to wait until more facts come out. However, I will say this again. I do not think this was some random attack. 3 mothers and 3 fathers lost their sons, and now another mother and another father has to see theirs off to prison. You know, all around it's just pretty sad. Now, in what seems a series of unfortunate events, a black man whose name is Jarrett Hobbs can be seen being beaten by police while in custody. In an article posted by CNN, it says, an attorney for a North Carolina man is calling for a criminal investigation into why his client, a 41-year-old black man, was beaten while in custody at the Camden County, Georgia Detention Center in September. In a news release, civil rights attorney Harry Daniels says his client Jarrett Hobbs was mercilessly beaten by officers at the detention center. Video provided to CNN by Daniels shows Hobbs alone in a cell at the detention center. In the video, 5 officers can be seen entering Hobbs' cell, and one grabs Hobbs at his neck. During a struggle inside the cell, at least 4 of the officers can be seen wrestling with Hobbs, some of the officers hitting him in the head. A second video released by his attorney shows Hobbs being pulled out of the cell and officers can be seen wrestling him to the ground. The video appears to show at least 1 officer kicking Hobbs. 4 of the 5 officers appear to be white, the other appears to be black. Go ahead and check this clip out. Now, you'll get another warning, but again, this video may be disturbing to some.
After security video released from a Georgia jail shows a detainee being repeatedly punched and kicked after 5 deputies walk into his cell. Now that man is out of jail and he has an attorney, and we want to warn you, the video you're about to see may be considered disturbing for some.
This video shows moments before 5 officers entered this holding cell September of this year. 41-year-old Jarrett Hobbs was being held at the Camden County Sheriff's Office, facing almost a dozen charges from alleged drug possession to battery against a police officer. In one of the videos, an officer appears to be standing outside Hobbs' cell waiting for backup. And watch what happens when 4 more officers show up and they open the door. They immediately go after Hobbs. There's no audio, so we don't know what was said before or during the violence, but we can clearly see 5 officers on Hobbs. It lasted about 30 seconds inside the holding cell and then spills out into the hallway. They grab Hobbs and slam him against the wall. All 5 officers appear to not only punch and kick him, but even knee him several times for about another 45 seconds. What happens after that is not revealed. The Camden County Sheriff released a statement today saying they are now investigating the actions of the officers and reviewing all videos and may bring in an outside agency to investigate what happened here.
And just a few hours ago, we spoke with the attorney representing Hobbs, who says that video says it all.
There's no way, no how that this is justified. This is one of the most brutal attacks I've seen in a long time. And as a civil rights attorney, I've seen a lot of things. The next step here is trying to get these officers removed from their position. They should not be working in a jail in capacity. They're taking an oath to uphold the law, not to break the law.
Now, getting back to that CNN article, in a statement, the Camden County Sheriff's Office said, Sheriff Jim Proctor has ordered an internal investigation of the incident to begin immediately. This investigation will include all recorded video from the time the inmate entered the facility on September 3rd, 2022 until his release on September 30th, 2022. If deemed necessary, an additional agency will assist with the investigation. Internal investigations involve reviewing of videos, questioning of witnesses, and documentation of evidence recorded, which takes time and not completed overnight, the statement added. It did not release the names of the officers involved. So then the article goes and breaks down the incident a little bit more. It says, while defendant was in custody at the CCSO complex in Woodbine, Georgia, jailers heard a large banging from defendant's holding cell. Defendant was reportedly kicking his cell door and was told by jailers to stop after already being warned to stop previously. Officer Carney testified that defendant apparently continued this kicking, resulting in the jailers approaching him, giving him verbal commands and putting his hands behind his back. However, defendant allegedly did not comply and responded to the jailers saying, "I ain't doing shit." After the jailers reportedly continued to give him orders and approached him, defendant tensed up, pulled away, and a physical altercation between defendant and jailers ensued, the document continued. The fact that they jumped this man lets me know that they're all pretty much cowards. I mean, no one wanted a 1v1, just straight up jumping. I hope he sues them, and I hope he gets every red cent that he's asking for. Take the titles and lands of their children and their children's children. Leave nothing. Sorry about that. I just started rewatching House of the Dragon. But in all seriousness, you guys, just be careful out there. You know, I don't care what that man did. Nothing warranted those cops to beat him the way they did. A lot of people have been unfortunately passing recently. They've been getting shot. You know, cops, they're still out here harassing black people, as we see an example. You know, I said all that to say, just make some time to laugh, some time, and kind of deplug from all the negativity. I think it was just last week that I reported on Takeoff passing, and now this week here we are reporting on 3 young innocent men dying and another one being beaten. So, you know, with a lot of negative stuff going on, sometimes I know it can be overwhelming. Whatever it is that you guys do to find joy and to stay sane, you know, do that. You know, unplug. You know, I know sometimes I do. We're literally only halfway through the month, and this month has already been crazy. If you enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, if that's okay too. But whether you gave this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, go ahead and drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the video. What do you think about the University of Virginia shooting? Do you think that it was a random attack? Or could there be more to the story? Also, drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on Jarrett's situation with him being beaten by those 5 police. What do you think should happen next? And as always, if you're not already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, as I am on the journey to 100 subscribers. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and I'll catch you all on the next video.